Sometimes I wake up with my heart racing, as if my whole body were trying to run before even knowing why. The house is still silent. The sun hasn't yet crossed the window, but inside me there's a noise that doesn't stop. It's as if every thought were a wave breaking on rocks, and I, in the middle of it, trying to find that calm people talk about, the peace everyone seems to chase as if it were a hidden place behind a mountain, a secret key that only a few possess. I get up, make coffee, but my mind is already somewhere else, on what I have to solve, what hasn't worked yet, what's missing. And each sip carries the weight of all the unfinished things life insists on reminding me of. It's strange how, even in simple moments, the mind manages to turn everything into urgency. We don't live in the now. We live in an invisible race against something we can't name. For a long time, I thought calm was a prize, something that would come when everything was finally in place. When I had more time, when work was stable, when the pains in my body stopped bothering me, when people understood me, when the world stopped being so loud. But the world never stopped. People kept being who they are. And time, that old master, kept its own rhythm. Then one day, while watching water boil in the kettle, I realized I was trying to control even the fire. I adjusted the flame, checked the clock, wanted to hurry the process, as if even boiling water had to be efficient. And in that instant, I saw the absurdity of trying to hurry life. The fire knows the water's time. Tea is only ready when it accepts the exact temperature of its moment. Calm is the same. It doesn't come from control, but from surrender. That idea kept echoing inside me. Maybe calm isn't anywhere except where I already am. Maybe the mistake has been seeking it as if it were something outside myself. What if, instead of searching for calm, I simply learned to be it? If this message is making sense to you, stay with me until the end. And if you wish, subscribe and share in the comments what your heart feels right now. Sometimes it's in the simple act of expressing what we feel that we begin to understand who we are. When I started looking inward, I saw how the mind is like a restless river. It never stops, changes direction easily, carries branches, leaves, memories, and plans. And without realizing it, we try to swim against that current, exhausting body and soul. The mind wants motion, but the heart asks for rest. The conflict is born in that mismatch. True calm isn't the absence of movement. It's knowing how to float without getting lost. It's like bamboo that bends with the wind but never breaks. Bamboo doesn't fight what comes. It moves with it, and that's why it endures. The spirit is the same when it learns not to resist change, but to dance with it. We often confuse peace with control. We think being calm means having everything under command, emotions aligned, a serene face. But that's not calm, it's effort. And constant effort is a form of war. Real peace isn't the result of a well-executed plan, but of a deep acceptance that life moves to a rhythm that doesn't depend on our will. There are days when silence feels heavy, when loneliness shouts, when the body doesn't seem to fit itself. On those days, what the heart most needs isn't strength, but kindness. Buddhist wisdom teaches that resisting suffering is what prolongs it. When we stop fighting pain, we open space to understand what it's trying to teach. Once, while walking in a park, I saw a fallen leaf carried by the wind. It spun, rose, fell, but never seemed to suffer for it. There was no attachment in its movement. The leaf didn't say, "I should be on the branch." It simply followed the natural course of its destiny. And I thought, that's how I want to be. Part of the flow, not someone trying to control the direction of the wind. Calm isn't a state to be reached. It's a way of being in the world. When we try to grasp it, it slips away. When we simply observe it, it draws near. It's like the shadow that follows us. We only see it when we stop running after the light. But the challenge is great, because we've been taught that life's worth lies in doing. We're always busy, not because we love what we do, but because we fear the emptiness. And emptiness frightens us because there's no control there, no distraction, no mask. Emptiness places us face to face with who we are without the roles, without the titles, without the stories we tell ourselves. It was in one of those empty moments that I learned to truly breathe. Sitting, no music, no rush, just breathing. Air entering and leaving, mind rebelling, body asking for distraction. But little by little, I noticed a space between each inhalation and exhalation, a moment of absolute stillness. That's where calm lived, not in the air coming in or going out, but in the instant when nothing happens. Life is made of those intervals, tiny spaces of presence between one event and another. But most of us live only in the noise of transitions, running from one thing to the next, never resting in the now. With time, I understood that seeking calm is like trying to capture the moon's reflection in water. The closer you reach, the more it fades. But when you sit by the lake and simply gaze, it appears whole. So I stopped chasing an ideal state. I stopped trying to fix every emotion that appeared. I began to let things be as they are. When I'm sad, I just breathe with sadness. When I'm happy, I breathe with joy. When I'm tired, I rest. Calm doesn't come from controlling emotions, but from allowing them without becoming their prisoner. There's a saying, you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. That's exactly it. Life will never stop bringing tides, some gentle, others fierce. Wisdom lies not in wishing for a sea without waves, but in learning to move with them. I realized that true peace isn't found meditating on distant mountains. It happens while washing dishes, walking to work, listening to someone who needs to speak. It's an invisible, silent, humble practice, and curiously, it begins when we stop searching. Because whoever searches is silently saying, I don't have what I seek. That constant sense of lack breeds restlessness. When we stop, when we just are, something changes. Time expands, the heart slows, and the mind begins to align with the present. From that moment, I started to see that calm isn't a quality we acquire, it's a nature we rediscover. Just as the sun doesn't need to learn to shine, we don't need to learn to be peaceful, we just need to stop moving away from what we already are. It was in that rediscovery that I understood the value of silence. Not the silence of someone who doesn't speak, but of someone who listens. When we listen to the world without rushing to respond, we hear life's song in every detail. The distant sound of rain, the laughter of someone passing by, the breathing of a sleeping animal. Calm is that, the recognition that each moment already contains everything we need. The mind, however, is restless by nature. It always wants to understand, compare, justify. So sometimes it must be gently tricked. Calm down, I'll listen later. And while it tries to organize words, the heart simply feels. I learned that the path of calm is the same as the path of humility. When we stop wanting to be great, to prove, to justify, to compete, something within us rests. The ego lives on noise, the spirit on silence. The ego wants admiration. The spirit wants understanding. And in that understanding, true freedom is born. Many people ask, but how can we stay calm when everything is falling apart? I usually answer, no one keeps calm. Calm keeps you, if you allow it. It isn't a wall against chaos. It's a river flowing through it without contamination. On difficult days, I close my eyes and imagine a mountain. It stands there, firm, silent, even when the wind howls and rain falls. The mountain doesn't resist, it simply remains. That's what calm does within us. It brings us back to center when everything around moves, and over time, I saw that what we call seeking peace is actually a plea for return, a return to who we were before the haste, before the guilt, before the comparisons, that being who looked at the world with curiosity, who breathed deeply without thinking of tomorrow. Now, when the world seems to crumble, I no longer ask for things to change. I just ask to stay present while they do. And in that staying, I find serenity that depends on nothing. Over time, I realized that calm is not the opposite of pain. It is the space that welcomes pain without judgment. It is the invisible lap where even suffering finds rest. Because true calm is not the absence of conflict. It is the understanding that conflict is also part of the whole. Just as the sky remains the sky even when clouds cover it. The storm does not erase the sky. It only hides it for a while. I have blamed myself many times for losing patience, for getting angry, for feeling sadness too quickly. It took me a long time to understand that calm is not about never losing control. It is about returning. It is the ability to come back to the center every time chaos pulls you away from it. Calm is a practice of returning, a path back home. Every time I feel myself speeding up, I return to the breath. Not to control it, but to remember that it has always been there. The breath is the invisible thread that connects us to the present. When I follow it, everything begins to make sense again. In the end, the body knows what the mind forgets. Life does not need to hurry. The flower does not force itself to bloom. The river does not try to prove its path. The moon does not compete with the sun. Each thing fulfills its cycle without anxiety. And it is this silent obedience to nature that creates harmony. The problem is that human beings believe they can improve life by controlling its flow. We try to speed up what is slow, hold on to what is fleeting, change what doesn't need to be changed. It's like trying to tame the wind with your hands. And the more we try, the more exhausted we become. But when we let go of control, something magical happens. We realize that life has been guiding us all along. There was never anything wrong. There never was. What existed was our resistance to trust. And trust is the root of calm, not the arrogant confidence of one who thinks they know the way, but the humble confidence of one who walks even without seeing the next step. This is the wisdom I learned by observing monks in silence. Peace doesn't come from the effort of being calm. It comes from trusting that you are part of something greater. When the self dissolves, the whole world breathes through you. Then there is no hurry, no demand, only presence. Sometimes at night, when everything is quiet, I hear the distant sound of a train passing, and I remember how life also follows its own track. There is noise, movement, distance, but there is also direction. Even when I can't see the destination, I can feel it exists. When I understood that, I began to live more lightly, to wake up without rigid plans but with purpose, to work without self-pressure but with dedication, to love without fear but with truth, and above all to stop confusing calm with weakness, because being calm is not giving up action. It is acting without losing your center. Being calm is like being a lake that reflects the sky. The wind may come, the waves may form, but the image of the sky remains untouched beneath the surface. That serenity exists in each of us, waiting only for the moment to be remembered. I began to notice that real transformation doesn't come from great revelations, but from small, conscious gestures. When I wash my hands, I feel the temperature of the water. When I drink coffee, I notice the aroma before the taste. When I talk to someone, I truly listen. And in those small presences, life expands. And when life expands, fear diminishes. Because fear is a child of absence. It grows in the space between who we are and who we think we should be. When we unite with the present, that space disappears and fear has nowhere to live. Calm, then, is not a destination. It is a way of walking. It's the way you touch things, the way you speak to people, the way you listen to yourself when you fail. It's how you get up when you fall, without punishment, without rush. I learned that it's not about seeking silence, but about being silence amid noise. It's not about waiting for the world to calm down, but realizing the world will never be completely calm, and yet you can remain in peace. Buddhist wisdom teaches that suffering is born of attachment, and attachment is the desire for life to be different from what it is. When we stop fighting what exists, a deep freedom appears, the freedom to be, to feel, to live. At its core, peace is the radical acceptance of imperfection. It's knowing that not every day will be light, not every emotion will be beautiful, and still everything has its place. Because even the shadow has a purpose. Without it, there would be no contrast, no form. The shadow reveals the light. Today I understand that calm is not learned with closed eyes, but with an open heart. And opening the heart is an act of courage. It's allowing life to enter completely with everything it brings, joys, losses, delays, healings. When we look at life without resistance, we discover that it is wiser than our intentions. Every event, even the painful ones, carries a silent purpose to bring us back to ourselves. And perhaps that's the most important lesson of all. Calm is not a gift, it's a return. It's remembering what has always been there, beneath layers of fear and expectation. It's the remembrance that even when the world is at war, there's a place within you where peace has never been disturbed. When you sit in silence and feel your breath, that place reveals itself. It's discreet, subtle, but it's there. You don't need to earn it. You just need to stop ignoring it. And when you find it, you realize that nothing needs to be solved urgently. What is yours is arriving. What isn't is leaving. And in this simple movement between coming and going, you learn that life is a patient teacher. Today, I no longer seek calm. I cultivate it. It is born when I treat the present moment with tenderness, when I stop judging what I feel and start welcoming what happens, when I see beauty even in small imperfections. To be calm is to allow the now to be enough. It is to accept the unfinished, the uncertain, the imperfect, and still smile. It is to breathe deeply and trust that the universe knows what it's doing. And in that trust, something changes within us. The heart stops beating in defense and begins to beat in gratitude. The mind stops being an enemy and becomes a companion. The body stops being a prison and becomes a temple. That's why deep down, being calm is an act of love. Love for yourself, love for life, love for the simple fact of existing. And when that love awakens, fear loses its power. There are days when the noise of the world still reaches me, moments when anxiety still visits. But now, instead of trying to chase it away, I offer it a seat at the table. I say to it, "Sit down, I'll listen." But calm is the one who serves the tea. And little by little, the noise dissolves, and silence lives in me again. Being calm is like lighting a lantern in the middle of a storm. It doesn't stop the rain, but it helps you see the way. And when you begin to see, you realize that everything the world calls peace, success, stability, control is only a reflection of the true peace that rises within. Calm doesn't come from outside. It blooms the moment you stop running from yourself. So if today you feel lost, tired, restless, remember, there is nothing wrong with you. There is only too much searching. What you are looking for is not out there. It's in the space between one thought and another, between one sigh and the next, between trying and simply being. Breathe. Feel. Allow yourself to be what you are. Life doesn't need more haste. It needs more presence. It doesn't need more plans. It needs more trust. It doesn't need more strength. It needs more gentleness. In the end, I learned that being calm is not a destination to reach. It is a way of existing. It is communion with the natural flow of things, a loving surrender to the mystery that creates and moves us. And that's where everything makes sense. Because when we stop chasing calm, we stop being hunters of the impossible and become part of the very peace we were seeking. Calm is not something you find. It's something you embody. And perhaps the greatest lesson life has given me is this: you don't need to chase what you already are. Just breathe, live, and be. Because true peace is not something you find, it's something you remember.